Let's get into it. I'm going to ask you, what are we going to do today? What are we going to talk about today?
We're going to talk about sort of a financial side of renovations. You know, not financial as in like in specifics. You need to make X amount of money to, not stuff like that. We're not financial advisors.
Definitely not.
But starting from how people, generally speaking, right? How do people usually look at financing their renovations? And then we'll go into which renovations have returns as an investment and stuff like that. So logically, probably makes sense to start where, well, I know HELOCs, you know, home equity line of credit is a very common option. Yeah, let's talk about that. What do you think about the using HELOC as a...
So it's a good option. It's where you borrow against the value of your home. It's a good option to do renovation. A lot of people use that because it's kind of difficult to come up with a big capital to, you know, to renovate your house fully, especially when you buy a house from the builder. Kind of that's what HELOC is there for, because you buy a house from a builder, you live there for 10 years. Meanwhile, the value grows. Now it's time to update the house to actually cost the value that it grew into. So you take this.
I see.
So you take this. So you take this loan, and you pretty much renovate with it.
Wow, you know, you were saying this, you made me realize basically, is there some point where, let's say you bought a new house, everything was done in it by current times, you know, the flooring, what are colors, right? Is there some point where it gets so outdated that it starts hurting the value of the house?
Hurting, no.
No?
Because there is a minimum market to every house. At the end of the day, you know, the amount of garages you have, the amount of bedrooms you have, and whether the basement is finished or not. It's all kind of set in stone. But the better it's done, some people would be willing to pay more.
Because they just want to finish. They just want the finished project that they want to deal with renovation, basically.
Yeah, although, you know, it's funny because I watched. I don't know if you remember. There used to be a show, Homes Inspection.
No, is it like on HGTV or something?
Yeah. So the host is Mike Holmes, and he was actually showing a couple who specifically said, we bought this house because we thought it's move-in ready, and we came in, actually the family was home, and we felt that it's very homey and everybody was, you know, very nice. So we thought that's exactly the kind of property we want for ourselves and our family. And they bought the property, which is again weird to me, but then in the master bedroom, the shower was in the floor.
What do you mean?
So it was, so the top of the shower was on the same level as the floor.
No, like curb?
So not shower, sorry, did I say shower? Tub. Bathtub. So bathtub.
Oh, so it's sunk into the floor?
Yes, it was on the level with.
What the hell?
So one problem that they have, then they realized there is a little structural problem. Then they realized that the front porch was converted to an enclosure illegally, and it was very cold. So again, when people say we want to move into a house that we won't have to do anything in it, probably that's not the case. When you're seeing a house that it's very, very nice and somebody's selling it, probably something might be wrong with it.
Yeah, I guess.
You know what I mean? So yeah, but then he went inside and he had to redo everything, and it was a very interesting experience to watch.
Well, if you think about it logically, they probably wouldn't be making a show where it's like, did they have any episodes where he comes, he's like,
everything is perfect.
This is great. There's nothing for me to do. Episode
Beautiful
over.
house. Why did you call me? Okay, I'm going home now.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah, no, but what I'm saying is that sometimes, and by the way, those people hired a home inspector. They had holes in their garage ceiling, which is amazingly wrong because
Isn't it cement? How does that even, isn't it cement in a garage?
no, it's drywall. But it's supposed to be completely sealed because you don't want fume gases to go into the house.
Of course. Yeah.
So that was open. They had air circulation coming from their from their cold room into the garage, which means all the fume gases through those pipes would go into the cold room and then into the basement, which means into your house.
Wow.
It was so stupidly done. And apparently the home inspector missed all that. Clearly, that's a great house to do a show on. But do you think there is nothing like that on the market right now?
Yeah, of course.
Tons.
Of course.
And people buy it. So apparently the holes in the garage were made because the bedroom above was cold. They tried to put in more insulation. Now, if you don't know how to put in more insulation and you just shove insulation in there, it's not going to make it better. It actually makes it worse.
Yeah.
So people think that by default, insulation, meaning you put it in and it makes it warmer. No, insulation cannot be pushed in because it has to breathe. What makes the insulation give insulation to the house is the fact that within the insulation fibers, there's a lot of standing air. And this standing air, because there's no movement of air, that's what really insulates the house. Not the material itself, but the fact that it stops from the air to move.
So if it's too dense, it just cools down like cement, basically. It just cools down.
So theoretically, what do you think gonna be a better insulator? A solid piece of glass, or let's say a piece of drywall?
Drywall.
Right, because in between the particles there is air that is trapped inside. It's standing. It's not moving. True. That's what insulates.
Yeah, true.
You know, that's why you can see when you're looking through a piece of equipment, and you can see all those blues and reds. That's pretty much how you see it when more air goes inside or less air goes inside when there's circulation.
Just through the thermal camera?
Exactly, through the thermal camera. So all those circulations that you see, that's pretty much whether the air is standing or not. So more of standing air, it's a better barrier between the air outside to the inside and vice versa.
You know, we need to get a home inspector on the show.
Oh. You know what the problem is? Yeah, maybe we should.
Yeah, we should, but I'm sure most of them will be kind of like...
Yeah, because I'm telling you, they miss 3/4 of things. They see the big stuff. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, you know how men will never see, like men not always saying how their wives having a new haircut or whatever, or a new hairstyle, because they're just not observant.
Yeah.
So I find inspectors are the same thing, you know?
Not true.
They're not, their attention to detail is very poor. They will show you like big stuff that are kind of obvious.
Are there levels to home inspectors? Like, so in terms of other home inspectors of different kind of other like premium home inspectors? Yeah,
I think that so better home inspectors somehow have to do with construction. So I don't want to...
Maybe formally.
So I don't want to put, a bad mark on home inspection, but I find that it's the kind of profession that many people go to because it's easy. They would go, they will study quickly, the rules and everything. They become a home inspector.
Yeah.
The best home inspectors are actually contractors that are on field for a long time or consultants.
And then they switch over?
Or consultants. Because consultants deal with it with building codes on a regular basis. Although I'll be honest with you, not always I would come to a house when I come for the first meeting to see a client. It's not like I'm there specifically to look at things. So I do catch things, but clearly I would catch, let's say 85% of things, but not 100.
It's a problem with incentives, right? Because a home inspector gets paid per inspection, correct? Not per hour.
Exactly.
So if the home inspector gets paid, I don't know, I'm making up numbers, $200, right? technically speaking, he makes the most money the faster he gets it done.
Yes, but I'll be honest with you. I don't think that's the reason. I think the idea is that literally they are not looking at the right things.
What I'm trying to say is that
like sometimes you would walk through a house and there is a supply vent or a return vent that needs to be in a certain room and you just forget about it and you are not looking for it.
I see. So it's not a matter of being lazy. It's just
no, not at all. I'm not saying they're lazy. They're either not 100% in what they do or don't deal with it on regular basis, on daily basis.
Do all of them use the thermal camera?
Some of them do.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying, right? You would think all of them should be using it, right?
No, they do, but not always at the right spots. Or they would tell you that you have an issue, but it's not a big issue.
Okay.
But then it's bigger than what it is.
Is a home inspector with 20 years experience more expensive?
Home inspector with 20 years experience more expensive?
Because he knows a lot more.
I don't think so, because there should be a market to it. But let me give you an example. Let me give you that example from that show that I watched. So they enclosed their porch. It used to be a front open porch that you come into the front door with a couple of columns and all that. They enclosed it. So the inspector came in and said, well, okay, so there's no vent. You're just going to need to put in a vent. When Mike's crew dug in a little bit, they realized that it's connected to the garage. And what happens is that they connected their drywall to the soffits, those metal pieces in front of the entrance.
The metal pieces in front of the entrance?
Yeah. Soffit.
Yes. Yeah.
So they connected their drywall to the soffit, just threw in some insulation behind. But what nobody knew inside of the house, that it's connected to the garage, which means all the cold air comes from the garage there regardless. And even if you're going to put a vent, it's still a problem that needs to be...
It's still
going to be cold.
Yeah.
So this is something that, if I would come to a house for 10 minutes, I would also miss. Because I'm not like Mike Holmes.
Yeah, you can see inside wall.
Breaking half of the house.
Yeah.
I don't have the budgets to break half of the house to see stuff behind the ceiling in the garage. Like, I'll be 100% honest with you.
Good business model, right? You start breaking stuff down, it's like you need a renovation.
Listen, the idea of this TV shows, by the way, you come in, everything is a got out eventually.
Yeah, they know ahead of time.
Remove this ceiling, remove that. They don't. They have the budgets for it. So every little thing, they will remove the ceiling. That's not really happening in real life.
Yeah, of course. You can't.
In real life, when a contractor comes in, unless you really see a red flag, you're not going to bother the homeowner to remove half of their house.
That's crazy. Eh?
So in his case, for example, he saw those holes and he's like, okay, we need to remove the ceiling to investigate.
Yeah.
I would say, by code, you just don't need to have holes. Let's close these holes.
Yeah, true. True.
Now, we could have said, let's cut partially the ceiling, give the option to the client. If you want to, we can cut the ceiling, remove the insulation, spray foam, and make sure that everything is done right, and cover it back in. But again, not fully. So clearly, when you are, if you have a problem somewhere in this room, and you have the budget just to, demolish this whole room to check it out, you will. Real life is not like that.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
In real life, the client has to, basically you ask the client, if I understand correctly, you ask the client, we can investigate all the way if you want to pay for that, but
nobody would want to pay to break
that's
all
what
their
I'm saying.
house
Exactly.
when there is vent missing in
you
the
can
front.
offer an option, but nobody's going to do it. So yeah.
So if you have a porch that was built in and you're missing a vent, in most situations you're not going to break the ceiling to check for it.
Of course. Yeah.
But what I'm going back to, good inspector, bad inspector. Mike was knowledgeable enough to realize that it looks like this drywall is on top of soffits. And if it's on top of soffits, it's already wrong.
I see.
And therefore, you suggest to redo that.
Yeah, okay.
But that's a difference between somebody who knows how to inspect, not because he's a better inspector, because he's a good contractor as well.
Yeah.
So which is a great question. I was asking myself, if I were to come to this house, would I catch it? Probably yes, but I don't want to be overconfident.
Yeah, true.
But if you bring a guy who is doing interior renovations, forget about interior renovation. If you're cold and you bring a guy to put a vent in there, an HVAC guy, they will not know that the problem is not even in the vent only. The problem is upstairs.
Yeah.
Right? Because they don't know house systems. So yeah, it's very difficult to find a good inspector that actually understands. Yes, they know to go in the attic, to check the thickness of the insulation, to make sure that there is no mold, if there is mold or wetness. You know, the obvious stuff that everybody could tell you.
Yeah.
You don't need to hire an inspector for that. But for example, another thing in this house that happened, so you got landscaping should be sloped away from the house. It was sloped. So it was sloped the other way around. The reason
all the water was pooling.
Yes, the reason is because with the years, there was one downspout missing, and water was collecting there, and it just eventually degraded this corner, and water, ice, and everything started building in there. So it's starting pulling all the interlock and everything, creating a bigger and a bigger issue and a problem. You know, should an inspector catch it? I think so.
I would think so. Yeah,
but they don't.
That's kind of like
they're like, oh, whatever, it's outside. You know,
like I'm paying you because you have the eye that I don't.
Like he would tell you, an inspector would tell you, and again, not everybody, but most inspectors would tell you that, oh, you have a problem with your foundation because there is a crack. It's right there. But they would not tell you you're going to have a problem with your foundation because you got a lot of water that will be collected during the winter because because what happens is the water gets to this corner, then it freezes, it contracts and then the ice starts pushing the foundation. You get the point.
Foundation.
You get the point.
So they only look at current problems.
They kind of don't look beyond their nose.
Yeah. I feel like we really need an inspector to like ask questions because I feel like we're making a lot of maybe we're making assumptions. So
to close that question, I would still suggest people to get a professional inspector to inspect your house.
For sure.
I would maybe suggest get somebody else before them as well, like a consultant or a contractor to look at it if you have somebody you know, and then to point it out to the inspector so that they can put it in the official report. Help the inspector inspect.
True.
Not only to rely on them, but to point things out, and therefore they will put it in the report. I'll tell you why. Because if the report says that something is wrong, you can bargain with the current owner that, listen, those are an issue. Those are issues. That's going to have to be fixed. It's going to cost me money. Yeah. Are you willing to reduce?
Yeah.
The amount. So, we
got derailed instantly.
Yeah, we're good at that. we're
we started with HELOC, and it's now about home.
How did we get to inspections?
I'm not even sure.
Yeah, so
I'm not even sure. Anyway, so basically, really, in terms of how people finance renovations, is basically HELOC is probably very common, or people just save money kind of to fund the renovation, right? These are the
so there are really two ways. There is no other way. It's either you work hard, you collect the money, and then you have enough money saved for renovations, or with the years your property grew and you can invest into it. Now, another thing, actually, I just remembered, you can do something else. You can also buy a house, invest into the house, get your renovations done, and get it reevaluated when the renovation is over. So, for example, if you paid for the house, let's say 1.1 million.
I wish.
Or 1.2 or 1.2 million, and you invested another $200,000 in renovation.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful, great renovation. And now your house is evaluated to 1.45 or 1.5.
Yep.
You can
refinance.
You can refinance it as based on that get a HELOC, and then decide what you want to do with it.
There's actually a whole investment strategy based on, I'm not giving advice, but people, that's how their whole real estate investment strategy, they do this.
It's called a flip. Yeah.
Well,
oh no, you're talking about...
No, they don't flip. So what they do is they find a house like this, they renovate, they refinance, they pull out some cash from the refinance, the difference, then they use that cash for other
as a down payment for another house.
Exactly.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's the whole strategy.
This is possible. And also, that's the idea of a flip. You buy a house for cheaper.
Very
if you
similar.
can find a bargain, you buy a house for 100%. Cheaper, you invest into it, you reevaluate it, the value goes up.
Yeah. You just need to make an estimation in terms of what is this house going to be worth plus the renovation.
So I'll tell you what.
What is the bank going to estimate it at?
That's why when... To those who flip houses out there, that's why when you're doing it, you need to have a team of good consultants that will tell you, because so when you're buying a house, people think you just go, you look at a house, and you buy it. Again, we're derailing, but it's a very important and an interesting topic. You just go, you look at the house, you like it, you buy it. That's not the idea. You actually go look at the house. Nobody will tell you that, but you should go to the city. Well, you should first of all find out, is there something illegal done on it? If there is an addition done or a basement finish or anything, you should go to the city and see if permits were pulled out.
Okay.
If permits were pulled out, great. If permits were not pulled out, that's another bargain point against the existing owners. Like I'm dealing right now, literally, we're starting hopefully soon to fix building a house that had 2 big additions in the back, and it was done legally.
Yeah, how do we fix
so all the structure is incorrect. We're pretty much going to gut out all the ceiling, gut out everything, and
rebuild.
Yeah, rebuild everything that's necessary.
Man, that's crazy.
So what happened is the old owner made it, sold the house, the new owner bought it, did not do their homework, got stuck, and guess what? It's their problem.
Yeah. So
you can't blame the old owner.
Question for you:
because you should have brought an inspector. An inspector should have looked at everything.
Yeah.
They just bought the property as is.
So usually people buying, right? They probably assume that somebody is gonna, maybe the realtor or their inspector is gonna do it.
Yes, they trust. No, the lawyer.
The lawyer. Okay.
You trust the lawyer, but there is a gray area that people don't understand. Realtor doesn't know enough. Don't ever ask the realtor besides buying a house. I know they learn zoning bylaws. They should know all that, but they don't. The lawyer cannot know because they're not on site to see it. So whatever you don't see on paper doesn't exist.
Oh, I see.
Now, they will not go and investigate something that is not on paper.
You have to notify them.
So somebody has to raise a red flag. And that's how the system works. You as a client don't understand. They don't know. You buy, bam, bam, bam. Couple of months later, all of a sudden you get a letter from your municipality. You have an illegal addition. You need to legalize it. And then you think, okay, well, not a big deal. I'm just going to go and get the permit. But then when you realize what the word permit means, and we have a lot about that. We're not going to go into it. You pretty much are like, I'm in trouble. In hundreds of thousands of dollars in trouble.
Anytime the government messages you with stuff like this, that's not a good thing, you know? So,
it's funny. I had you tell me about government. That's a funny thing. I had a patio done in my house. And I did it and everything. I'm not going to go too much into details. And I have a neighbor.
Yeah.
And he was, jealous at my backyard and all that because it looks, I would say, great with nice patios, pergola and all that. So he was thinking that my construction, which not, disclaimer, not, but he thought that because of my construction, there is standing water on his property.
Standing water? What does that mean?
Water.
Oh, standing water.
Because I raised so it was on a slope. I raised a little bit the grading to make sure that the back of the property doesn't flood.
Okay. Yeah.
Everybody should, could do it, but still water can go through. Anyways, for many reasons. So he called an inspector. And then one day I'm sitting at home. And the inspector comes to my property. So he knocks. I'm like, oh, hi. He's like, well, I have a complaint here about this and that. So I'm like, do you want to see my backyard? I have nothing to hide.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, sure. Let's see. So we go into the backyard. Clearly, everything is legal. Everything is done right. And he goes, your face looks familiar to me.
Oh, you worked with him?
Hold on. Listen to it. I'm like, yeah, I know, Dan. My face looks familiar to you. I know. His name is Dan. He goes, aren't you the owner of Acadia? I'm like, yeah, Max. He's like, so your neighbor thought you would do something illegal and get yourself in trouble? I'm like, yeah. He's like, Max, have a nice day.
I have a question for you.
So funny enough, he tried again. And he tried again with a different inspector. And after it didn't work for the second time, he kind of...
I have two questions.
Let it be.
Does he have to pay for the inspector?
Nobody has to pay. It's part of your property taxes. Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, so if you see something that your neighbor have done and it's illegal,
So I have a second question then. When the inspector comes, because they're not officer of the law, are you obligated to let them into your house? They
are the officers of the law, of the bylaw.
But I thought you need like...
It's not criminal law.
Yeah.
But it's what do you call it? It's zoning bylaw. Municipality controls zoning bylaw. So they are like cops, like police officers.
So they
police zoning bylaws, which means when you build something illegal on your house, they are the police you call.
Oh, fair enough. But do they need to have what is that thing called? Was when the police has to have a
report?
No, like they need a letter to be allowed to come into your property.
So I'll tell you what. Yes, they wouldn't go into your property without your permission. They usually would leave their first of all, they would leave you a business card saying that they were here. Please contact us. If you don't, one day you're gonna come and you're gonna see an order to comply.
Yes.
So as soon as you see an order to comply, now what people don't understand, that means that all the application, because eventually you're gonna need to get there, all the permits you're gonna apply for and applications you're gonna submit will cost you double.
Yes, okay. A search warrant. That's what I was looking for.
So not a search warrant, but listen. Eventually, I've never been there.
Well, yeah.
But I'm sure that eventually they could come in with law enforcement.
So really, if you think about it, an inspector is like a vampire. You have to invite them for them to be able to come in.
You can tell them no, in theory. You can.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the same as a vampire.
You can, but then they pretty much start a case against you, and the city can. It's too complicated.
If you have nothing to hide,
but the thing is, think about it this way: if you build something, what people don't know is when you're building something on your backyard, it's not just like, okay, I build a building, good, or I build a deck. All those things change the water flow on your house. When it's raining, it changes everything.
Yes.
So what happens is you might do something that will flood your neighbor.
Yep.
You might. So I'm not saying that it's incorrect. It's just he was surprised that that's my job.
Did he
I
know
have a
that?
design build company. Sorry?
Did he know that? Does the neighbor know?
Yes.
Yeah? Okay.
Yes. He knows me as a consultant. But anyways, but listen, sometimes when you don't like something and you really believe that it's incorrect,
Yeah.
It's not like, listen, if I'm abusing some laws, assuming, and I'm a lawyer, and my neighbor knows that I'm a lawyer, it doesn't mean that they cannot go and sue me.
No, of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Just because I'm a lawyer.
Yeah, of course.
Because maybe I'm using the fact that I'm a lawyer. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So,
of course.
yeah. So he was entitled to do. I'm not upset with him. We're still friends because I never was like, oh, you went to the city.
Oh, you didn't call an inspector on him the week after?
No. Why would I do that? Listen, if I know that everything is legal in my house, call an inspector every day. Why do I care?
I mean, it's a pain.
If they want to come for coffee, come in. I know most of them, so they can come for coffee.
It's a pain, I guess.
But to make a long story short, that happened, and it happens to a lot of people around. So
I have a good question. So you said something you might do water damage, right?
Yeah.
That's one thing. Do we have regulations in terms of sunshine? Does that if something you build obstructs?
Yep. Oh, went to a completely different, but
those are just quick.
Good things. So, and I can give you a story about that as well.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, the idea is, if you're building something within the allowable bylaws, then no, nobody can tell you what to do.
Oh, interesting.
So for an example,
Yeah.
if you are, imagine for a second an imaginary cube.
Mm-hmm.
That's what a lot is, an imaginary cube. And at the end of this cube, you got fence.
Okay.
On the borders of the cube.
Yeah.
So why am I telling you a cube? Because whatever you're building, there is an imaginary line for height, maximum height, maximum width, maximum depth. There are bylaws that dictate that how far you have to stay away from your property line, which is your fence.
Yes.
So when you're building a house, it's like a cube inside a cube. So when we're looking at, before we start designing anything for our clients to build, we first of all determine this cube that would be allowed, like a clear kind of, in my mind, is like a clear cube on the property that is allowed. So for example, if your zoning bylaw tells you have to stay away 3 meters on each side. So now you offset this cube 3 meters here, 3 meters here. From the back, 7.5. Now you offset here. Where am I going with it? I remember your question. So if whatever you're building is within all those bylaws and within this imaginary cube, you can build whatever you want. Nobody can tell you anything. So for example, if you have a neighbor who has a bungalow and you're building a 2-story house, but the city allows you, the bylaw allows you to build up to, let's say, 4.5 meters, which is up to 10 meters, let's say 10 meters usually, which is 30 feet.
Stories?
Which is 30 feet.
2 stories?
Usually, yes, because it's with the roof. There are complications to it, but we're not going to get into it. So if your building is within this 30 feet, within this 10 meters, your neighbor can cry until tomorrow.
So we don't have specific bylaw on the sun.
No, there is bylaw. Not on the sun specifically.
Not on the sun specifically.
But height, maximum height.
Okay.
But if, for example, you want to build a garage, and your garage is, and there's a reason why I'm saying that, I actually had this situation before. So we had a client where we were building a garage. And they wanted the garage roof to be a little bit higher than what allowed, the peak. So it had a gable roof.
Yep.
And the peak was by 2 feet higher. Not 2 feet, sorry, 1 foot higher. And we applied to the city. And the city said, well, listen, it's 1 foot higher than allowed. You have to go through a process that's called committee of adjustment, minor variance.
Yeah.
So we went to the committee of adjustment, and this neighbor came in and said, well, listen, we don't like what you're doing because it's blocking our sun. We have our window right there, and you're blocking our sun by doing that. So I lost the committee. I lost it. But then you have 40 days to appeal. And then I appealed it. And when I appealed it, we had another meeting before the appeal process officially. Both parties meet whether they want to see if they can communicate and agree on something before going back to the committee. So we met, and he said, listen, I don't want you to build anything. I don't want you to build this garage because of that issue. The peak is in my window, and it's blocking the sun. So I said, listen, I agree with you. This is the situation, right? But you need to understand I'm the devil's advocate because I need to work for my clients.
Yeah, of course.
I said, I'll give you an option. I'll remove the peak. But you know how we got a gable roof? So most of the sun is actually open. So I'm going to reduce it by 1 foot, which is not going to change anything, but I'm going to do a flat roof. You're going to lose the sun completely. How about that? I'm going to go within the bylaw, but I'm going to make sure that you lose the sun completely. Not because I'm trying to be an H, but because that's what my client want, and I have to work for my client. And to be 100% honest, it's not a huge deal. It was a matter of being jealous. So he got frustrated and he said, listen, of course, he's a professional. He knows what he's doing. Doesn't matter what I'm going to say, he's going to win. Now, when you go for appeal, back then, it was just the beginning of the appeal process. The appeal process used to be through Ontario courts, and then the city took over this process. So it was just the beginning of it. So we had actually the city of Toronto lawyer there as well to mediate this appeal process. It was one of the first ever appeal processes. It's called TLAB. Okay. So he said, well, listen, professional or not professional, he has a point. It's your job whether you accept it or not. If you want to accept it, you accept it. If you don't want to accept it, he will change his drawings, but he told you what he's going to do. And then he doesn't need a committee. And then nothing can really stop him because everything is within that imaginary
It's
box.
within the rules, So.
It's within the rules. He's allowed 4.5 meters. Instead of doing a gable roof, now he's going to go with a flat roof. That's his choice. So yeah, eventually they lost. But yeah, those situations definitely happen.
Yeah.
And this is one example for those situations.
So the reason I was asking about it is in Japan, they have specific rules on the sunshine specifically. And for that reason, a lot of buildings in Japan, because they have very dense construction, you'll see a lot more roofs that are on an angle.
Yeah. So it has to do because there was a lot designed and built there with a very great density, and they're actually trying to run away from it.
Yeah.
While the city of Toronto actually going more towards density.
Well,
city of Toronto is welcoming density.
Yeah. Good.
Yeah. So we had a podcast and the discussion about that. So it's a little bit different when it comes to us.
Yeah. No, I think what happened there is that they had density. It's just, over time, their building code is far more complicated, far more complex than ours.
Oh, yeah. I don't know their building code. I just know that ours is pretty complicated.
I don't know if it's building code or zoning law.
Zoning bylaws.
Yeah, probably zoning bylaws. Yeah.
So building code is how you build the house specifically.
Yeah.
Zoning bylaws is where you locate your house and how big can it be.
Oh, so zoning bylaws. Yeah, for sure. They have like, I watched the video on it. There's like 17 different subsections of the thing.
We got like 30. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
You got zoning bylaws for the main house. We got zoning bylaws for secondary suite if you want to have in-house, outside of the house. We got zoning bylaws for garages. We got zoning bylaws for...
I just had an idea. I'm gonna find that video. We'll film a video, you watching it, and like your reaction to that would be interesting to see your reaction to like how different is it actually.
We'll see if it's something that worth my time. I'm never going to work there, so...
Well, no.
Or not try to work there, I don't know.
It's interesting, content. I hate that word.
Content?
I hate the word content.
Listen, I'm trying to avoid content that doesn't really make me smarter or it doesn't really give me any benefit in my life.
Okay, let's circle back to the financial...
yes.
So the other thing I wanted to ask is when people do renovations... Not always, but pretty often people look at renovations as something when they sell the house, they want that renovation to increase the value of the house. But not all renovations fall into that category. Yeah. So can you share maybe which ones don't?
Yeah. So for example, a lot of people believe that having a pool in their backyard would increase their house. No, actually it's an expense and a liability. And as much as it's cool, that doesn't really increase the value of the house.
I see.
But people really think it does because, like, come on.
It looks cool.
It looks cool.
Yeah,
but it doesn't really increase. It's increased the expenses. Although it's very arguable, and we're not going to go into that. But again, pools do not increase any house value. What else? Some people would change the roof. A new roof, saying that we have a new roof, yes, would. But saying that we have a new roof, very expensive and some kind of roof is not gonna also increase anything.
So
it's just a lot of people would invest into certain aesthetics because they did it for themselves and they realized that now we want to sell the house and they believe that they want the money back out of it. But like, you can say we have a great interlock driveway, 2-car garage driveway or 3-car garage driveway that cost us $100,000.
Mm-hmm.
I don't care. You did it for yourself. I actually don't like it the way, I'm going to change it back to asphalt. But anyways, that kind of stuff, landscaping, decisions that people make on landscaping, that kind of gives you more luxury, more comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Not even comfort. I would say luxury. Not always payoff. Like when you're coming into a house and you see, like overall, let's say, the house was a regular brick house, or subdivision, and you change it to look more modern, and you fix the landscaping and everything. All together, that's going to give you a certain value. Yeah, because you come in, you're like, wow, I want the house. I'm willing to pay more for this house. But not per se those little things.
I see. Okay.
Right?
Okay, that makes sense.
Because people think, if I'm gonna change my driveway to something much better, I'm gonna get more money out of it. No. What gives you more value, and I don't know if we're gonna talk about that as well, is more room in the house, and
more living space. I guess?
More living space, or more usable space.
Well, it's interesting, right? Like the things that you named. Let's say a nice driveway, or I think that comes to mind, a nice garden, if you have that. The thing is that probably for most people, that's not going to be something, but those people who really like a garden, they're going to be like,
exactly. But now you're narrowing the buyer pool by so much that it doesn't make sense. Also, believe it or not, external kitchen.
Oh, that's not common. Yeah, that's
like
not common.
But people think, oh my God, we built an external kitchen. We should get like 20, 30 grand extra just for that. Nope.
Yeah, it's essentially, maybe it has value, but you're narrowing down. It's going to take you longer to sell that house and get the value.
But when you have, so a pool itself is not going to give you value. A kitchen is not, but when you have a nice backyard, with a pool, some cabana, external kitchen with a TV outside under some kind of pergola and all that, freaking cool.
A personal chef.
Yeah, but a personal chef. First get a personal chef at home and then I'll talk to you about anything else. But
I have a comment about it, I'm not going to say.
But anyways, when you get all that together, that's awesome. That's something that will worth the money, but not because all those things are a good investment, just because you're going to find a certain client that will take that picture as I want it.
Yeah, exactly. You're going to need to find the person who wants exactly that.
But again, you're narrowing your pool. And usually, not only you're narrowing your pool, you would have said, okay, so whatever, you're narrowing the pool. But the problem is that your expectation and price are there as well. Like, I'll give you another example. I had a real estate. On one of my previous houses, whatever, I did a lot of work as well. I've been there. I'm not going to lie to you. And she's like, well, I think that the price for this house is, I don't remember really, like $1.2 million. Okay? The price for the house. I'm like, no, what are you talking about? But there's so much work done. We did landscaping, this, that. I think it should be 1.45. So she goes, listen, Max, I can post it 1.45. You're not going to have a lot of people looking into it. Because respectfully, you like all that. It's nice. But this is not... To make a long story short, she posted at my price. We wasted 2.5 months, 3 months.
Nobody came?
Few people came. But nobody, of course, put an offer on it. We reduced the price to what she said. We had quite a few offers.
I see. Yeah. Yeah, I guess you just got to change your expectations if you do it.
Yeah. It's you who invested that money. You feel very attached to all that.
Yeah.
And you just want, think that you deserve people, you deserve for people to appreciate your time and your money and pay for it. No.
Basically, the more rare anything that is related to your taste, because you did it because that's your taste.
Yeah.
And the more rare that option is,
Yeah.
the less likely this is going to get you a return, because how many other people like that, you know? So yeah.
Like, think about it this way. Why are renovated houses sell for more money? Very simple. And why do they say more for more than what you invested? Very simple. If a house cost 1.3, 1.4 mil, you renovated it, you put in $300,000, but it was, let's say, builder grade from like 20, 30 years ago. And they pay you, so let's say I said 1.4, 300,000, 1.7, but you sell it for 1.9, and people buy it. The reason is very simple, because your time that you put into it as well costs money.
Yes, you're saving their time.
So you're saving their time not to do that. So at the end of the day, by renovating, there's a legitimate reason why people pay you more, because if they were to buy this house and to do it themselves, that's what they would invest. Okay, but it's not like you're asking more because the value of the house went more. No, because they would have to do all that.
So really, I guess with a pool or an outdoor kitchen, it's kind of the same. It's just more of an issue of, well, how many people are planning to build a pool and an outdoor kitchen?
But I'll explain to you. If I need a house, so for example, I come to a certain neighborhood.
Yeah, exactly.
I love this neighborhood.
Yep.
And I'm looking for a house in this neighborhood. I want to renovate the house approximately the way I want to renovate it, or I'm willing to settle to pay a little bit more for a renovated house. But I'm not willing to pay more for luxuries that I unnecessarily would invest in myself.
Yes.
So I would want a great kitchen and a great open first floor, but unnecessarily I would invest my money into a pool. So now, would I want to buy a house for more money, another $50,000 to $100,000 extra, just because they have a pool? And then you're thinking, okay, if I were to do it myself, I would probably do it a little bit differently.
Exactly. Yeah.
But I would buy that house if next door they would do the same renovation without the pool, but $100,000 less.
Exactly. Yeah.
Or $50,000, $60,000 less.
Exactly.
So it's like, it's like when you're investing into a house, the luxuries, you want them to match you. So you're saying, I want that house, but I'm going to do the pool myself later if I want one.
I have another one. Another one that for sure is not going to get you the return. If it's a new house and you replace all the appliances and you buy very nice appliances, you know, Sub-Zeros and Miele's and whatever, you're not getting your money for that.
Yeah.
You're not getting your money for it, because people who want those appliances, even if they move in and they want all the really nice appliances, they're going to want the new ones. They're like, for them, the fact that it's a used, you know, like Miele and Sub-Zero, they're like,
people think that, I have such great appliances that I'm giving you here.
They think that, yeah.
But you see, that's where people should be reasonable. Whether whatever you are asking, is it personal?
Yeah.
Something that you're, or not. Like, for example, the last renovation that we've done, 36.
Eldorado.
Everything is, everything is, everything, everything.
TMI.
TMI, yes. Everything has good, expensive.
Oh, hold on. I'll write down I'll bleep it out.
Yes.
I feel uncomfortable with the. Okay.
So let's start the segment again. Just cut it out. So, for an example, the renovation that we've just done. Okay, everything has the one that we finished latest.
Yeah.
Everything there.
Can you? Yeah. Can you just like make sure it's?
Is it better?
Yeah, it's fine now. Okay.
Okay. So everything there has all the appliances are very expensive. Very expensive. Miele, European, amazing.
Nice, yeah.
Wow. Okay. But if they decide to sell the house, they cannot use it as we're selling you renovated house with Miele appliances.
Yeah.
Therefore, it should cost more. No, because the house is renovated, it should cost more. But you cannot use the appliances as the argument to why you should get more money. Same with a pool. Renovated, new landscaping done around the house, great. Big pool that you should pay more for, not so much.
Yeah, exactly. So in their case, for example, the kitchen is very nice. So the kitchen will add value because the kitchen is nice. But the appliances will...
Altogether, it should add value. I agree with you.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, can we think of anything else that is... So basically, if you think about it, pretty much anything where you're going for this very high-end stuff, you're probably not getting the money for that.
No, you do it for yourself.
Yeah,
you do it for yourself.
Exactly.
Like, you're not going to sell a house, like, again, bathroom renovations. You would put a wall-mounted, it's expensive toilet. You know, when you're doing a wall-mounted toilet, you have a special frame that goes into the wall. You have to modify the wall for the frame. So structurally, you have to modify it. A lot of work. So you can't say, like, oh, we're selling the house. Our bathroom now cost by, we got a toilet that costs $2,000 instead of $300. And we got like 4 of those, or I want 10 grand more for toilets.
Yeah. Think about it this way. When you look at the listing on the realtor.com, whatever, right? When you look at the listing, it is not going to have a listing of wall-mounted toilets. That's not going to be there.
But a nice picture that features this toilet would sell. So sometimes it's not about what there is. It's, as you said, the full picture. Nice bathroom. You can see, oh, wow, I want that bathroom. That's a chic luxury bathroom that I would want to have. You know what? There is 3 bathrooms. The bathrooms are amazing. Everything, the renovation is great. I want that house. So now, because it's renovated nice, you're willing to pay a little bit more.
Different story.
But but if same as if you have a builder grade house and you put a pool, you're not going to ask for the house. And you and your neighbor pay your house. Believe it or not, you're not going to ask for more money over your house just because of the pool.
So it's interesting.
Because I would buy my neighbor's house and build a cheaper pool, maybe.
That's true. But the interesting point, actually, the pictures will draw attention.
Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So that's an interesting...
Everything is in the visual. Everything is in the visual. That's why all the real estate now, pay attention to what happens. The market is very bad. People are not buying new homes. So you want to sell homes. That's why you got all these drone shots, all this everything.
Of course.
To gain attention. All these professional pictures by professional photographers.
You have to do it now.
It's because that's the only way to, it's like we're in this peacock stage, I call it, because whoever got the nicer tail gonna sell.
Yeah, I guess when the market is hot, you can take a picture with your iPhone 12.
You remember that time when you had bid wars over a house, over broken houses, like completely. Nobody cared. You just want to get a house, doesn't matter what.
Yeah, pretty much.
So it's really people should pay attention to all those things. Those are the trends. Those are. So if you got a house with a nice toilet, or the next neighbor sells it without the nice toilet, you're probably going to buy the next house over and change the different toilets. It's when you have everything renovated, one big nice picture, that's where you're like, I want that house. Because I'm not going to be able to achieve that if I buy the other house. That kind of renovation. Yeah,
in that sense, if you have a nice renovation, even if the market is hot, I mean, if you're a smart realtor, you want to feature those nice things in pictures anyway, because
exactly,
you want to feature them,
Exactly.
So let's look at the other side then. What are the renovations that do have a return? Flooring, I guess, maybe, you know what I mean?
Also, not really.
Not really?
No. Well, if you go from laminate to hardwood flooring, yes. But if you're going to put, like we've done,
oak,
chevron style, the most expensive flooring in the world, again, I'm not willing to pay more for a house for that, because maybe I don't even need that.
Yeah.
That's personal taste, you know what I mean? So no, flooring, not so much. And honestly, I suggest to people not to worry about replacing flooring. That's that's minor.
Unless it's
If you're
very
buying
outdated.
a house,
Unless it's very outdated, basically. You know,
yeah,
like
yeah,
tile.
yeah, yeah. Like, think about it this way: you buy a house, everything is great, but you don't like the flooring. Before you come in, hire a flooring guy for a week. Bam,
Yeah.
bam, bam, bam. It's done. Try to hire a good flooring guy.
Well, yeah, yeah. But then you do it, and then you're like, I don't want to sell the house now. Like, I like it.
No. I mean the buyer. When the buyer buys a house,
Oh, I see.
before you move in,
I see.
you know, you just invested 1.5, $1.6 million. Or again, I don't want to be in some areas.
We're just,
950, 1 million.
our market.
Or 650 or whatever. Yeah, we're talking about Toronto market, really. What another $8,000, $10,000 to do flooring
Yeah, true.
throughout the house. You know what I mean? You just do it. You just hire somebody and you get it done. Maybe even hire somebody before closing the deal, before getting the keys, so that when you come the third time, I actually love doing that. Before you get the keys, you got three times to view the property, 3 viewings. So on the second or third, to bring in the trades to walk around, whoever needs to do what, to take their own measurements and everything so that they can give you a price.
Oh, interesting.
Right? Of course. So that by the time you get the keys, now your trades, because you know when you're going to get the keys, there's a date. So now your trades are ready to come in the day after. And you don't waste time. Make sense? So
does that mean that no specific renovation increases value, is the whole picture, kind of?
No. So we're getting there. You just said flooring. So again, you're the problem. No, just kidding. So, but let's really talk about renovation that actually increase value. So renovation number 1, secondary unit.
Okay.
I don't know if you what, forget secondary unit. So let's call it finished basement. And finished basement has 2 categories. Just a finished basement adds you square footage. Clearly, you get more value, more bang for your buck. Or secondary unit is just, you can't say not everybody needs a secondary unit or want. For example, I don't like when somebody is living in my house. Respectfully, that's
fair.
I wouldn't be happy about it. But some do need it. Some actually buy their house with specifically a secondary unit because they wouldn't be able to afford a mortgage, for example. Fair enough. Everybody and their own financial questions. So secondary unit, you can invest, let's say, $70,000, $80,000 into it, depending how big it is, and gain like another $50,000, $60,000 to the value of the home. So the return for it is 150, approximately.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, so secondary unit. Arguably, load-bearing wall removal, because it opens your house, open the space. Of course, brings you into a deeper renovation, because when you remove a wall, what happens? You get a hole in your floors.
Yeah.
Because flooring done around, so now you need to replace the flooring, everything, which brings you to a more updated house. By default, going to give you a return. When you renovate, let's say your first floor, usually load-bearing walls are being removed on the first floor. By default, going to give you a better bang for your buck.
Yeah.
Okay? A lot of homes have open to above areas. You're coming into the house, it just open to above.
Open to above? What does that mean?
That means that there's no second floor. You know how it's open all the way to the...
Oh, very, very high ceiling, essentially?
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So those open to above areas can be enclosed.
To make a second floor?
To make a room.
Oh.
To make another room. So room addition can give you can give you more value, of course. So now you go from 3 to 4, from 4 to 5.
Yeah.
Increase in rooms. That can gives you more value. And there's a lot of, like, for example, again, this last project they just didn't want to do it. I actually offered them to have either an office there or maybe 2 closets for the other room on 2 sides. Get big closets to divide the space in 2 and give them big closets. That's also a possibility. Not everybody is doing that, but I've done quite a few of those. Usually, but funny enough, people with bigger houses don't like to do it, just like our clients. It's the people with the smaller houses that waiting for another baby, can't move or whatever,
Okay,
all of a sudden would have...
they want to maximize
absolutely.
the space.
Yes.
Yeah.
Have another room. So that would add value to the house.
Is there a difference if you do a basement with a separate entrance in terms of value or like entrance inside?
So separate entrance as an apartment, yes. Separate entrance for yourself, not so much.
Yeah, for yourself, yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Right.
It only makes sense if you're going to rent it out.
No. A lot of people just do walkouts from their basements.
Oh, walkout is different, yes. Walkout basement is...
But what do you mean by
nice
separate entrance?
Side entrance, usually.
Usually you have side entrance in houses regardless.
Oh, yeah? Our house does. Nothing.
Oh, well, not everybody. I said usually, not always.
Yeah.
But no. Depending on freestanding, either has a side door to a garage or a side door to a mudroom, and usually the to a staircase as well.
Yes,
not usually.
Yes. But speaking of which, actually, is a walkout more valuable than...
By itself, no.
No? It's so nice.
People write down separate entrance from the basement. It doesn't do anything. But if you got a separate unit with its own entrance, now it makes sense because you're thinking, oh, that can be rented out.
Wait,
that
am I
can
thinking
become
of
an investment property.
Am I thinking of the wrong thing? I thought the walkout is when your house is kind of on a bit of a hill, and so the basement naturally... You can come out from the basement.
So walkout is your basement usually is underground.
Yeah.
So when you cut the wall, you dig down, cut the wall, and create a walkout from the basement.
So the walkout can be up, stairs up.
Well, you wouldn't go below you wouldn't go below.
Because some houses a walkout is and from the basement you come out from the basement to the backyard. That's the level.
Oh, you're talking walkout basement.
Yes. Walkout basement.
Yeah.
Yeah. So are those more valuable? That's what I'm saying.
So walkouts are more valuable, yes. Not by a lot.
But it needs a specific situation.
Yeah.
It has to be on the hill.
It's the grading of the soil really.
Yeah.
That is like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Are you allowed to?
But it's more valuable. The reason for it is because you don't need to create a walkout from the basement. So
that's true.
Theoretically, yeah. The reason some people would argue and say, yeah, but now that I can't walk into my backyard from my first floor, so now you need to have a deck and all that. So by the way, for this kind of houses, when you have a bigger deck where you can put a table outside with stairs, now that would raise value.
I see.
Because you don't have like a small balcony like the builder would give you. You have a full deck and everything, so it gives you another level to your kind of outside entertainment.
Does a deck generally increase value?
Not by a lot. Yes, not by a lot. Because a deck is there when it's necessary.
That's true. You wouldn't have it. Well, I guess so. I feel like it's becoming more popular. Some people build kind of a deck on ground level. It's not really. Is it called a deck? I guess it's not really a deck.
It's a platform.
It's a platform. Yeah.
It's more like a platform.
Yeah. But I feel like it became more popular. Just because it looks nice.
It does. I've seen a full backyard actually covered with wood.
A whole backyard? Wow, that's
it's actually very nice. You don't have soil. You don't have anything to.
Yeah, a lot of people hate having grass and dealing with that. So
Yeah.
I like a garden myself.
Yeah. I have.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's funny. I remember when I moved to my current house and I did all the landscaping and everything. I was so excited. Every 2 weeks I would go and I would mow the
of course,
and everything and all that.
That's when I bought my first car. I washed it every week.
And then I used to shovel the snow because I had to see. I had to see all the asphalt and everything. Now it's like I'm coming tired from work.
I'm not gonna lie. It makes me a bit sad that we just give up on stuff like this. Eventually, it's like it was a good thing to do, but eventually you're like,
That's the lifestyle.
Yeah, that's screwed.
That's the lifestyle. Yeah, yeah. So now I come home, I see ice on my driveway. I'm like, too bad.
Yeah, I have an F-150, so like, that's irrelevant.
I'm waiting for my son to grow up. So
exactly. So whatever.
I hope he's not gonna watch it one day.
Yeah. Okay. Do we? Um, well, there's a lot more that are kind of related, but
No.
what are the most expensive things to renovate?
So the most expensive things to renovate, so usually kitchens or basements, to build a basement, which is funny because a kitchen can cost same amount as finishing a basement.
When you say to build a basement, do you mean that there's no basement at all?
So no, to finish it.
To finish it, okay.
So when you're buying a house, your basement is a shell space without any definition to it. No rooms, no nothing.
A cold room, essentially.
No, it's not a cold room.
Kind of
no.
like
A cold room
similar.
is a cold room. It's cold.
Yeah.
A basement is not a cold room.
Insulated,
just,
I guess. Yeah.
An unfinished shell space. Right?
Completely unfinished means that do you see studs and insulation between? That's completely
usually
unfinished?
you would see concrete and insulation on top of concrete.
Okay.
Okay, and so that would be pretty expensive to finish. Kitchen is also pretty expensive to finish. After that, bathrooms. So our days to renovate a bathroom very well, it's between $15,000 to $20,000, sometimes even more, depending on the finishes.
Wow.
Yeah, depending on the finishes. Yeah.
Is there any specific reason why bathrooms are? I mean, I guess you have to do plumbing and you have to do.
Yeah. So the thing is, bathroom is very interesting. So when we don't really do a lot of those per se, because when you do a renovation, everything that has to do with structure, you call a guy that does structure. Everything that has to do with flooring, you call a flooring guy. Everything that has to do with electrician, you call an electrician. A bathroom is such thing that you theoretically need, let's count together. You need somebody who does tiles. You need somebody who does drywall, trades. You need somebody who doing taping. Okay, you need somebody to paint. You need somebody to do plumbing. You need somebody to do electrical. You need somebody to do glass.
True.
You need somebody to do, what did I miss? Mechanical, if you're removing the fan and all that. So what happens is, I just gave you 9 trades for one bathroom.
Yeah.
But you're not going to do that most of the time. If you renovate only a bathroom, you will call a guy that does bathrooms. Not a guy, it could be a girl, by the way. I've seen one that does it very well. But you call a person that does bathrooms.
That's what they specialize in?
That's what they specialize in. So specialties, you have to pay more because they have to be, they have to be good at installing tiles. They have to know plumbing a bit to a certain point. They have to know electrical. They have to know. Now, okay, you can say, I'm going to call plumber and electrician separately. Fine. But still, after that, you still have 6 different trades in one person.
Yeah.
Because usually you would call a drywaller separately, taper separately, painter separately.
What is a taper?
Taper is, so after you install drywall, you got those seams.
Yeah.
You got to mud them and tape them and mud them.
Was the, what is it called? I know.
With a compound.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's a profession. So
I saw drywall guys do that.
No. So drywall guys doing drywall and tapers do taping. That's a professional and so on. Now, yes, my drywall guys do that too, but not always. When you do something commercial, if you're gonna have one crew doing all of it, you're gonna be sitting and waiting until they're done.
Yeah.
You can't do that. So what happens is you got the crew that does structural. When they're done halfway, you can get the drywallers to start in. When the drywallers are halfway, the structural already out, the framers are out, and now the tapers are starting it, and now the electricians, the mechanical. You got to make sure that your construction is moving.
Yeah.
And this is why you pay more for the bathroom, because that's not the case. You got one person sits in there for longer.
Yeah.
Because otherwise, how many people you can put into this sardine box?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Like, you can't. So they sit there longer. One bathroom renovation can take a month and a half, while we can finish a full basement construction renovation 1.5 months.
Yeah, that's huge.
So
difference.
3 months to do 2 bathrooms, while we do full house renovations in 3 months.
Yeah. Wow.
So, but that's, for example, when you do full house renovation, you got the electrician doing the whole house. They will go and do the electricity in the bathroom as well. You got them to do drywall in the whole house in the bathroom. Because now the bathroom is part of the construction.
Of course.
So again, that's a different ball game. That's a different specialty, and therefore it becomes much more expensive. In real life, a bathroom can be done in 7-8 grand, but when you do a bathroom on its own, unfortunately, it can be more than double.
If I
will be more than double.
I do all the calculations correctly in my head, basically, if you buy a house, the best thing to start with was the basement. It seems like.
Yes.
You get a return. You get
more space for yourself, more space for your family. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And after that, you can already.
Well, no. Actually, stop. Taking it back. The best thing to start is when you're buying a house is with the first and second floor to quickly as possible while you're still not in the house. Give your house 1 month for renovation. Do the bathrooms. Because it's very difficult to do all that when you already live in the house.
Yeah, that's what
and of course you can. Don't get me wrong. People do. Yeah. But do the bathrooms, do the nasty stuff so that you can start your life stuff. You need to replace the kitchen, and paint everything and change the floors. When you're done with, not like...
Because the basement, you're not there.
And then when you're living in the house, now you can renovate your basement.
Yeah. I was thinking of somebody who's already in that house. Like they're not...
Already in their house? Yeah, then basement. That's the best value for... So if you're in the house and you're thinking to sell tomorrow and you're thinking how to get more money...
Yeah, exactly.
Basement.
So you want to look at the basement,
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. That makes sense. I don't have any more questions about that. Let's see what else we got.
Let's see what else people want to hear. Because I just got excited. I just got warmed up.
Well, actually, we just covered one of the questions. What is the best order? What is the best order to do renovations? We kind of covered it.
Yeah.
So,
and by the way, we didn't discuss we just discussed inside of the house, not outside of the house.
In terms of returns or in terms of...
Yeah. You can build a garden suite. You can build a Laneway suite.
Yes. Now, well, so that's specific to Toronto, correct?
You're creating another property on your property.
Do I understand correctly that this is, so far, it's only allowed in Toronto? Like you can do it in Vaughan?
No. It's an Ontario bylaw.
Oh, it's an Ontario bylaw. You can build, so is it, it's not a Laneway house?
I'll tell you even more. Before garden suites came in Innisfil, you could have an external secondary unit. Innisfil had in their bylaw, they allowed external secondary units. So we built secondary units on their inside of their garages and stuff.
Can you do me a favor, super quick? Can you disconnect the cable and plug it back in?
It's not working?
No, it's working. It's just like every once in a blue moon it crackles and it's like very, very minor. Okay, that's it. Because
I am playing with it.
Because you remember last time we disconnected them for the recording.
No, and also I'm playing with it a bit. Yeah. I'm like that. I'm sorry.
Wait a minute. So why do
Every ADD comes with plus and minuses. I'm very detail oriented, but also I'm like
you like what is it?
Fidget toys. I need my fidget toys.
So why am I not seeing them being done at Richmond Hill?
What are you talking
about? Garden suites? I haven't seen any.
It's just like a Laneway. Well, we are going to start 2 of them in April soon. So
yeah, true.
On the same street.
Not in Toronto.
No, in Mississauga actually.
Oh, in Mississauga. Okay. Yeah, because I would have thought it would be way. It's such a great idea. I'm actually surprised that it's not widespread.
So I'm not sure, but some cities can opt out. Like just because the bylaw came
they're
in,
not obligated to be.
I'm listen. So far, every city that I applied, we kind of achieved it, but yeah, some can opt out.
Well, Mississauga is kind of known for allowing a lot more construction, if I understand correctly, right?
No. Arguable, no.
I thought we had, like on the podcast, in one episode we were talking, and that Mississauga is a lot more open in terms of.
No, the opposite. They are. So the most open is actually City of Toronto.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Mississauga is probably, I would say, City of Toronto. I mean, all the 6 boroughs.
Yes.
Mississauga is probably number 2. Oakville, because they got big lots, very easy to work there. Ajax and Pickering, number 3, all of them together. Vaughan, depending what you do, would be number 4. Well, Brampton would be, and Vaughan, kind of the same, number 4. And the last but not least, is Markham. Markham is the most difficult to work with.
Oh, yeah?
Like, they're open, but it feels like they don't know what they're doing.
True. What about Richmond Hill, Newmarket?
Oh, Richmond Hill is just like Vaughan kind of thing.
Yeah, I guess it falls into the...
Yeah.
Well, there's York Region. York Region, it doesn't cover, like, they don't have their own... They're all split up, right? Because York Region includes Richmond Hill and Vaughan and everything.
So York Region, York Region is not a municipality.
Yeah, it's
a region. Yeah, region.
Yeah, okay.
So, yeah.
But yeah, because I live in Richmond Hill and I haven't noticed that. I can't think of any garden suites, at least near
In Richmond Hill?
Yeah.
No, there are. Yeah. On the bigger properties where you find bungalows, but we do a lot actually. Laneways, we do a lot in downtown because clearly most of laneways are in downtown.
Natural.
And we do a lot of garden suites in North York. I've done quite a few of them in North York. Because North York, you got those big lots.
That's really great that they allowed to do that. And
I had people that I talked to in Vaughan that wanted to build few, but never got to actually work in Vaughan.
Yeah, I see.
I wish, actually. I think that Vaughan has a lot of potential when it comes to it.
Because, in terms of investment, I cannot possibly imagine anything being better than literally building a second house, like on your property.
Absolutely. That's why when we discussed what gives you the value for your property.
Yeah, exactly.
And you sound like the most important, you forgot.
Yeah. You literally building a second house.
Yeah.
I was kind of amazed in terms of what's allowed. You really maximize the space. They're from the edge of the property to the edge.
But not yet.
Not yet?
There's a future to it, which people don't know. Well, even the municipality doesn't. The municipalities don't know that yet, but they will get there. And that's why I'm thinking when I'm building laneways for my clients, I actually think about it. So right now, all the bylaws allow one family dwelling inside of garden suites or laneways. But they're 2-story. Do you think they're not going to allow multiple
eventually
apartments in there? Of course they will. So I am talking to my clients when we build something 2 stories, maybe to put separate wall-mounted heat pumps or something, not to have one system.
I see.
So that in the future, when it's allowed, they can utilize it for.
Well, what about plumbing and electrical? Because I guess
no, plumbing and electrical is fine. It's just like a triplex in a house. It's still the same system that goes throughout the floors. But you need to fire insulate the ceiling, and we just do it right away. Yeah,
exactly. So it's good if you build in it to prepare for. Essentially, it's going to be an apartment, kind of like a low-rise apartment.
A duplex.
Yeah, a duplex. Yeah. If it was me in charge, I'd be like, build condos if you want. It doesn't matter.
That's why you're not in charge, my friend.
Yeah, I know. 20 stories.
Yeah, that's why you're not in charge. I don't know if I would put you in charge of that, or anything that has to do with
I'll solve density real fast. Go crazy. We need housing. What are you going to do? Yeah, the neighbors will not be happy. Sunshine, forget about it.
I just thought about it, yeah. What sunshine?
Yeah. But I mean, it is what it is, Look at New York.
Elon Musk will start tours to space just to see the sun.
Tunnels. And, everything.
Listen, no. But New York is not as as bad as you think. Don't forget that New York has different boroughs to it as well.
Yeah,
You're talking about Manhattan.
Manhattan.
But that's a different story. It's like downtown Toronto.
Yeah, exactly.
You're not going to see on King and Queen in the intersection somebody building 2-story house right now.
Yeah.
Okay? Now, the way it happens...
That'd be baller, you know?
It's never going to happen. No. The reason it's never going to happen, not because... listen, if I'm a milliardaire...
A billionaire.
A billionaire, sorry. Not a millionaire, but a billionaire. And I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'm going to remove that building, demolish it, and build... You would, but the thing is that every city has a future plan to it. And they change it every 10 years. So, for example, if they have a low-density neighborhood and they want it like a regular neighborhood, right, a residential neighborhood, and they want to start building buildings in it, they just change the designation of the land from residential to, let's say, commercial or mixed use.
Does that mean that you're no longer allowed to build a residential building there?
Exactly.
Oh,
so now as soon as you sell and you want to be, as soon as you want to build something, you can build just commercial. Now, when that happens, what follows? A lot of developers knocking on your doors and you and your neighbors and saying, "I want to put a building in here. Sell me the house for a good price."
Yeah.
So yeah, it's very simple. It's never going to happen that you will see all of a sudden. If you see a house in the middle of like an old house in the middle of a lot of buildings, it's just
Somebody who refused to sell.
A person who was refusing to sell it and thought that they're going to pay more, and eventually they built around. Yeah. I don't know if you know, by the way, in New York, is it in New York? I think New York. There's a property where one house was refusing to sell. Mm-hmm. It's like a square property, and one house just on a one corner of this property was refusing to sell. So they built a building around it and above it.
Above it?
And above it, which don't ask me how they succeeded, because even the airspace belongs to that property.
Yeah, exactly.
But they literally built everything around and above it.
Now I'm wondering, if you own a house, the airspace above it is yours. Up to what height? Can I charge airlines for using my airspace? No. Because first of all, it's not yours. It belongs to the city. But that's what I'm saying, though. You
pay property taxes because it's kind of, yes, it's yours, but if it's yours, why do you pay property taxes? Think about it.
Yes, fair enough. So in that sense, all they needed to do was get, they don't need the house owner's permission to build above it. They need the city's permission, right?
Exactly.
The city is
But it's theoretically, if it's a different property.
Yeah.
It should not, it's a different, but they managed to do it. And I looked at it, I was like, oh, poor people. They were building on the fact that they're going to pay the millions just to leave. And they were like, oh, you know what? F you. We're just going to build above you.
But now it's like a special house. You know what I mean? It's probably very valuable now.
It's still standing there. I don't remember. I wish
like a heritage
if you
house
can do after that a research and
I'll look it up.
Check it out. Or maybe it was a heritage house and the city did not allow. Maybe if you can look it up and then maybe put a picture.
Similar stuff exists in London. They don't build over it, but in the center of London, you'll see a mix of very old kind of. It's usually townhouses, not freestanding.
Yeah, we see those a lot. But specifically on top of it,
that's pretty. Yeah,
that just. I looked at it. I'm like, that's great.
Oh, that's cool. I hope somebody lives there. That's a cool house.
Yeah. Or like in downtown Toronto, which I've never done. I wish I had the opportunity to deal with something like that. But there's a building. Mm-hmm. You probably have seen that building. It has a bridge on top of the road to a different building.
Yes, I know which one you're talking about. Yeah. It's close to Liberty Village.
Maybe. Yeah. And I was like, again. So in order to build that bridge, think about it this way. I'm thinking from the perspective of, consultant. Mm-hmm. You have to go outside of your property, on top of the property of transportation department, because the road belongs to transportation department, into another property which you probably own as well.
True.
Go through committee of adjustments to allow you to go with 0 setbacks.
Mm-hmm.
Go through transportation department to allow you encroachment and build on top of them.
I love the word encroachment.
Yeah, because you encroach into a different...
Yeah, but it makes me think of a cockroach.
Oh.
I'm like, you're roaching on my property.
Yeah, so encroaching into the transportation department. I'm like, how do you achieve that without paying someone?
You know what? I'm very, very happy, and like I'm proud of Toronto for allowing these cool projects to happen. Actually, I see more and more condos that are kind of interesting happening in Toronto.
Like what?
On Spadina, they built this condo. Inside of it is this thing called The Well. So it's like a commercial thing inside, but there's a condo on top of it. They're around Spadina. They're
So it's a
building
mixed-use building.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
But also on King, they're building this super cool condo. I literally think it's called the King.
The King?
It's by a famous architect, very famous architect, like world renowned architect, and it mixes green space and the condo kind of. So it's like steps.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
And every step is going to have some greener on it.
It's a green building
very, very
with
cool.
green roofs.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so you got like gardens, terraces with...
They're not done yet, but they're getting closer now. So, so they're actually... Because for a while, I absolutely hated it. For a while, we had the situation where, I guess it's still happening, many condos were just a glass wall, like basically. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah.
But
you don't even know how much problems
not gonna age well. Those condos not gonna age well.
So they already have issues. All those. So those glasses they called sealed units, right? So and those walls, architectural walls, they called curtain walls.
Okay.
So where you see this like skeleton with glass. So those again, this glass is made of two layers of glass with air inside. The problem is that it fails eventually and allows air to get in. Well, it's again dead air for insulation to give you a certain R value. But eventually, this sealed unit, it's called a sealed unit, and it fails and it leaks air inside. You know what happens? The air is dirty and you get... Yeah, it looks like there's a moisture in between.
It's fogging up.
Yes, the glass is fogging up and you need to replace it. How much do you think it costs to put a swing stage to replace one piece of glass on a building?
A lot of money.
Yeah. Too much money, Mr. George. Too much money.
No, 100%. When I was looking at the glass, even if this didn't happen, glass simply does not age well in terms of how it looks. After 30 years, there's no glass that's going to look great. You're going to have to...
No, I'll tell you what. It's not about glass. It's about that the world is living. So approximately 40 years ago, maybe 45, the world's maybe even 50. The world started going towards minimalism.
True.
So those curtain walls looked like something from the future. You know, all those buildings. Now the world actually starts living from minimalism to more colors, more everything is used to be like monochrome.
Yeah.
Now everything becoming more colorful and more in design. I see different design that are being done are like more with colors and everything. So pretty much that.
So those condos
that change
on Spadina, that's what they look very nice because they're not just this glass thing. They have. What are they called? Arches?
Yeah, like more details.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like they actually kind of designed it. You know what I mean? Instead of just build a condo, the end.
You know, it's funny. There's this software for architecture. It's called Revit. So when you design a building in Revit, so the way it works is when you do an exterior wall, you put a wall, and then you change its priorities to curtain wall. And it's automatically changing it to this curtain wall system with glass. The problem is it does it so poorly that I can see when a project, drawing was designed in Revit. But you know what the worst? When you see a building finished and you're like, oh wow, they didn't even take the time to divide it, to subdivide it correctly and everything. You actually see a building in front of you where you know that they used the automated option. Like somebody pays them $400,000 or $500,000 to design a building, and they use an automated option in Revit of the curtain walls. Yeah. And not only, they even use the same profile that by default goes there.
I wish I could say I'm surprised. I'm not at all surprised.
You're not surprised?
Not at all.
It's so cheap, man. You know? Oh my God.
Well, but so what do you see when that happens? Like in a finished building, what it's going to look like when you're saying it's an automated?
So no, it's going to look like a glazed building. You're not going to see any difference. But for me, I just know that those are the default dimensions and those are the default
templates.
Yeah. Literally templates.
Yeah.
And to me, it just looks disgusting.
I mean, to be fair, it's not like there's no room for that. It's, assuming I assume that condo is going to be cheaper. The units are going to be cheaper. I assume. I don't know if that's a fact. The fancy buildings, probably more expensive. You know what I mean?
I'll tell you what I don't like about it is that the units are colder and you need better HVAC systems to maintain them because you have to have HVAC working 24/7 in the winter to warm them up.
I see.
And yeah, there's a lot of minuses to it, but hey, listen, who am I to argue?
So your maintenance goes up?
Of course. And I'll tell you even more, not only your maintenance goes up, your HVAC pump probably would die faster, which means it's going to need to be replaced more often. And
so the building
it's a snowball effect of more and more maintenance.
Yeah, the building maintenance go like price, because every condo pays maintenance monthly. So
yeah.
I have a question real quick, just kind of, related. So what's your opinion on like how small would you allow to build condo units? Because I'm like on the fence about that situation. On one hand, I understand that at some point it becomes completely,
But you are for density, my friend.
What I am. Yeah. So I would
go
probably
to
vote
China
for it.
And look at them. Pretty much, they sleep in corpse.
Yeah. So there is a line somewhere, but
I don't know. I personally think that the condos that are being built right now, it's not about there's no soul. There's no soul in the condominiums.
Most of them not.
Yeah. There's no soul, and it's all done to maximize on the small square footage that they have, just to sell. They don't make sense. I think we were discussing one of those episodes that when the investment, the condominium that I go for are usually the older condominiums. Not older, like very old, but older like 30 years old, from the 90s, from the end of, or the beginning of 2000s. The reason is very simple, because they actually cared about the layout and they cared about the square footage. I do personally think that if your condominium, if your one bedroom doesn't even have a space in the, because they call it a dining room, but then you put a table, small table like that, with 4 chairs, and literally one of the chairs is encroaching into your
bedroom.
No, into your couch area, into your living room area. So it's like they put the word dining just so that, or I'll tell you even more. That's crazy. So when the architects scale down the table and the chairs so that it fits, or put like put like a couch that looks like a 3-person
like
couch,
baby chairs,
but actually it's a 2-person couch with 3. You know what I mean?
That's hilarious.
And you like, it looks like, oh wow, that's a great apartment, that's a big apartment, all that. And then you start putting furnitures in, and you're like, holy crap.
Yeah. What is this, a couch?
The TV is in front of your nose. There is no space for a couch. I don't like that. I think that between 600 to 700 square feet.
Oh, wow. Dude, that's really good. We have way smaller condos than that.
Yeah, no. Right now, all of them are like 455. Those are, but I do think that they don't make sense.
If I'm not mistaken, the smallest ones we have in the city are around 330.
Yeah.
330. That's
Yeah.
you were saying in dining room. I'm like, oh man.
No.
If you have a dining room, your account is
those
not
are
tiny.
studio apartments. Those are small studio apartments.
They're literally
But I honestly don't believe. So unless it's somewhere next to college, and you rent it to students, I wouldn't buy it.
I think sometimes it's just a single young person who is literally looking for their very first kind of. So this is why the devil's advocate situation is that, okay, like if people want to buy it,
okay, let me ask you a
then
question.
build it. You know,
in order to buy a condo, what do you need?
To buy a condo,
what do you need?
I mean, same as everything else. Down payment.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So the down payment is usually between 10 to 20%.
Usually, yeah.
To start.
Yep.
Okay. The difference of the 10 to 20% is not that different, not that big. Whether you buy, so for example, the 300 square foot apartment would cost you, let's say, $380,000 versus $500,000 for not five. You can buy even for $480,000. One with den. So one bedroom would be $450,000.
In the same.
So you're looking at 10% 38 versus 45. $7,000 difference, and you're having those 700 square feet. So of course you're gonna tell me, Max, it's very shallow because then you got the mortgage payment. Not everybody can afford it. This and that, and I agree. But then maybe you should rent a little bit more and get.
But the thing is, like the way I see it is, the specifics don't even matter. Basically, if you build it and somebody wants to live there, well, then let them live there. Like, you know, at some point, I have the same problem with.
No, it's fine. I have no problem with that.
Yeah.
The question wasn't. Should people not live in smaller units? The question was, what do you think should be the minimum? Normal apartment?
The question is, should we build them? You know what I mean?
I think we should. Of course, we should.
Yeah. Okay. So
But I don't think it's a normal apartment, because at the end of the day, okay, you will find a buyer to any product. Okay, you will find a buyer for any product. It's like saying, should we build a three-wheel car? Should people buy those? I personally think they're useless. Will somebody buy them? Somebody would, probably.
very few, I guess. But
you know how, and it's
they
not
exist.
like well, you got the three-wheel motorcycles, right?
Yes.
Those make sense.
Yeah.
Because you want a motorcycle, but you want to be more safe.
Yeah.
You know what? That's smart. That's maybe smart. But three-wheel car, not so much. When you got the front one wheel, right? So it doesn't make sense. It's cool maybe for 5 minutes, but it doesn't make sense. Should you maybe save a little bit longer and buy the four-wheel car, the cheapest four-wheel car?
Yeah. No, I'm asking more like from the perspective, I guess, not even the buyer. Forget, like, assuming, you know, people will buy. From the perspective of the government, should the government allow? I see it the same. For example, we don't allow building residential housing in industrial areas, right? Because they're like, you know, noise pollution and anyway, not a good place.
Smell.
Yes,
noise.
not a good place to live.
Yeah.
But the argument would be, well, if somebody wants to live there, let them live there. Like, you know, that's not your.
No.
Why not?
No, because what happens is eventually you might get, they come to live there. They leave there. Somebody else comes in. Now they get a group together to say that instead of we, the intruder, they make too much noise, they make too much this, move them out of here because we want to live here. Everything is not as simple as you think. That's how you start political movements. And if you think the whole world is like that right now, when people, you know, don't make sense. So that's how it happened. People come in, they start living there, and then they go to the city and start complaining. But the city would be like, hold on. Nobody told you to go and live in an industrial area. That's your problem.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's not how things work. And therefore, there are designated areas, and it's okay. That's how it's supposed to be. And yes, every once in a while, people are able to, what do you call this? To get that crossroads where you would have, for example, a commercial unit in the neighborhood. Like, for example, a coffee shop, right? The opposite.
Yeah.
You want to open a coffee shop in a neighborhood, and this is not allowed. The question is, should it be allowed, a small neighborhood coffee shop or not? But then the answer, the city is going to tell you, well, now everybody can open a coffee shop. How many coffee shops you're going to have in the neighborhood?
Well, the market will kind of take care of itself.
No. It's like our ex-prime minister said, the budget will budget itself out.
No, not the budget.
That's how you talk?
The market. Like you're not gonna end up with 20 coffee shops in a small neighborhood because the people who invest into the business, the people who invest into the business, they're not like,
you know what?
Stupid, right?
There are 3 coffee shops, but I think my coffee shop is going to be different.
Well, they're gonna.
You know why? Because I'm going to open my coffee shop with a cannabis store.
Sure, they might try, and they're gonna,
no, they're going
to fail. And what I'm saying
because
is,
you got 300-400 houses around it that say, first it was a coffee, now we have tables outside, now we have live music, now we have this. No, we want our privacy. No, there should be eventually. There should be, and the problem is there should be the end of it. And the problem is that it's never like you think. It's always those small encroachments. Bylaws and all those issues start with minor encroachments. Nobody gonna come to you and radically gonna start try and change anything.
Of course.
But they will step by step will change it. Like, for example, I'll give you an example because I worked on it. So there is a neighborhood in downtown Toronto which I dealt with. There was a corner building and they wanted to open a coffee shop. Everybody were against. So they said, okay.
Who live there, you mean?
Yeah. They said, okay, let's just convert it to a commercial unit. City allowed it. Okay. Let's convert it to a retail store. The city allowed it. So now it's grandfathered. They said, well, let's start selling coffee. The city said no. Because by definition, selling coffee, it's a restaurant. Restaurant is not allowed. So now you're thinking, okay, after a fight that I had, and after talking to many government officials, I got them this selling coffee. Now they wanted sitting areas outside, because now people come in and they're asking, we want to buy coffee, we want sitting areas.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, don't forget, every time we have argument with people that coming up with signatures, how they don't like it, but slowly and but surely, we got things grandfathered in.
Yeah.
So now the city came out with, we're allowing small coffee shops, neighborhood coffee shops, because of our argument over the past 4 years. The bylaw changed.
But couldn't you argue?
But again, we didn't come in and just ask for a coffee shop.
Yeah, of course.
We came in. It's a work of 7 years.
But that's the thing. It's like
you gotta be smart.
It's just a weird kind of inefficiency. You know what I mean? Like
I think it's very efficient, and I think the residential areas should be residential areas. Period. Commercial areas should be commercial areas, and industrial areas should be industrial areas, and nothing else.
So what about the condos that have businesses on the first floor? What is that?
That's mixed use areas. Those are also, there are areas in the city dedicated for that.
I guess that's what I'm saying. I'd be in large support of like a lot of mixed use areas.
Fine, but you can't use it. You can't put it in a residential area.
Don't they
mixed use area, you can't put condominiums in the middle of 2-story housing area.
Well, they're kind of like spreading, like in downtown, especially when they're building, they're slowly buying out more and more houses.
But that's what happened. Yeah. So for example, Queen Street, think about it this way. Used to be many years ago, residential street.
Yeah.
Then it went to a mixed use 2-story buildings, a storefront, and an apartment above.
Yeah, it's still like this a lot.
Then the city came up with, we're going to allow buildings up to 40 meters. Bam. They started with
Low rise.
6 up to 30 meters, I think 30, 40, low-rise building. Then the city changed that. But this is within the future plan of the city.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Okay.
Every time when zoning bylaw changes, that's the future plan of the city. It's being changed. So that's when the city itself kind of proposes changes in density. That's what you were saying. The future plan of the city of Toronto is more density because you see where it goes. And also, they publish a full article about what are 10 years future plan. But you will not find...
Fair enough.
By that time, when you get to high-rise buildings, there's no more low-rise, there's no more... The city changes, so that's okay. Because the whole area designation changed.
That's what I mean, yeah. Okay.
So that's why it takes years. It's not like something... When you're saying that it's inefficient, it's inefficient, I have to disagree.
Well, basically, if I understand correctly, what you're saying is that if you take a residential area, just residential, if you allow a coffee shop there, it's an inevitability that now it will end up with, condos or whatever.
No, I didn't say that.
Well, kind of like one thing leads to another, right?
No. You will end up with a more commercial area, which in 20 years from now, which the residents that live on those small streets and maybe didn't want that.
It's interesting. I wonder if it's like just a culture thing or because...
we actually had a discussion about that before.
Yeah, I'm sure.
And you raised exactly the same question. I do think it's a cultural thing.
Yeah.
It's a cultural thing because I do believe that this is something you would be happy about. Me, not so much. Again, you need to understand me as what we do in Acadia is different as the private Max, where Max would want to live. I would want to live in a more settled residential area. You would want to live in a very urban.
No, I'm thinking right now, honestly, area. Like I'm thinking of London, and honestly, even in London, they still have that. Like they still have the.
You have to.
It's not like every area in London is mixed use. No, they have areas that are.
You have to. There's no other way.
It kind of expands from the center out.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
Yeah.
And same here. It's just going to continue going like this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So for example, look at Highway 7. Highway 7 goes from the 400 to 404. Same thing.
It's mixed use now. Yeah.
But it's all becoming buildings.
But more and more. Yeah.
But houses and farms and all that is sold to developers.
Yeah.
But it took 20 years. Look at all the development from Steeles up north.
So actually,
it used to be in the 90s. It used to be all farmhouse.
Yes.
They changed designation. Developers bought those lands and moved into residential.
If you think about it, that means that it's going to happen faster now because instead of it just going from the core of Toronto out, now you have the core of Toronto, and now Highway 7 is also going to be expanding. So they're
Highway 7
towards each other.
Is now becoming Highway 7, and let's say Jane Keel is becoming the downtown of Vaughan.
Yeah. There's also North York is like this kind of...
North York, Yonge Street and all that, that's downtown.
So all of those are going to be expanding on their own kind of, in terms of mixed use.
So, no, what's going to happen is, Yonge Street off North York stops at Steeles, and from Steeles north is...
Vaughan. Not Vaughan.
Not Vaughan.
It's Markham
Thornhill.
on one side.
Thornhill. It's Thornhill of Markham.
Yeah.
So Thornhill actually divided in two. Part of it is in Vaughan, part of it is in Richmond Hill. So what happens is every municipality makes their own center. But because it expands, now they're getting close to each other.
Yeah, exactly.
Same as Highway 7, partially Markham, partially Vaughan, now connecting as one long strip of mixed-use buildings.
Yeah, so that's what I mean, because there's a lot of them expanding at the same time. Essentially, it's going to happen faster because they're all expanding towards each other at the same time.
Okay.
Right? So, yeah. I mean, I like that, but, We still have massive residential areas, like, you know what I mean? Like massive. So
Listen, overall, Canada has a lot of lands that are undeveloped.
Yeah, of course.
And
That's definitely not
we just
we're
need-
not in shortage
we
of.
just need developers who can actually afford to develop
Well, yeah, fair enough.
and who actually are being incentivized to develop.
Yes,
But that's a story for a different podcast,
yeah,
not
yeah,
ours.
exactly. A different podcast that we had a couple of podcasts ago. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. 2 hours.
2 hours.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
So should we have
as usual, we kind of covered 15% of the topic, and then
and then everything else.
Yeah, exactly.
Good. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's call it a day. Guys, thank you very much for being with us. I hope you enjoyed the podcast. Archie, thank you for being here. Thanks, my man. All those questions that you're asking, whether they are interested, whether they're relevant or not, they're very interesting. And that's something that not only you, but people who are watching the show also asking. So that's actually very cool.
Hopefully, yeah.
Thank you for asking those.
Yeah.
Guys, see you later. Until then, back to work.